Oh boy, does this company's greed know no bounds. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. Welcome to my channel, and yeah, it looks like we're doing this. I mean, I held off for a few months. I told myself I wouldn't come back to this topic, but darn it, you read something like this, and you just can't help but say something. But Uber has laid off another 900 employees right before Christmas over an old tactic they've actually used before, the Zoom call. But what? Not Uber. Hold on 1 minute. Oh, excuse me 1 minute, guys. Alright, sorry, forgive my confusion. Apparently this scummy thing is not coming from Uber. This is from another company called Better.com, which has a valuation of over $7 billion, just got a $700 million capital fundraising much earlier than expected, is also backed by SoftBank, and they decided to do the same thing Uber did last year or earlier this year, I forgot exactly when it was, where they were going to just lay off a massive amount of employees over Zoom rather than do a humane thing and, you know, maybe find a way to work around them, maybe put them in other divisions. Nope, they decided to fire them over Zoom because, of course, they did. Sorry, I hope you can understand why I was confused. But yeah, no, this was from Better.com CEO. And this is no more upsetting and no less aggravating than what Uber did. However, before we get into this, if you happen to like stories like this and you want to help support the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and smash that like, and also leave a comment below on future topics you would like to see on this channel. Without further ado, though, let's get on to our non-Uber story. I guess I did not break my promise. So anyway, about 900 employees of digital mortgage company Better.com learned that they had been laid off in an abruptly scheduled 3-minute Zoom call just weeks before Christmas. The CEO was quoted saying, "We're laying off about 15% of the company for a number of reasons. The market efficiency and performances and productivity," CEO Vishal Garg said during the December 1st meeting, according to a recording of the call post on TikTok. He told employees the decision to let them go was challenging. Better.com announced in May plans to go public with the deal's delay. A day before the layoffs, the company received a $750 million cash infusion from its backers, Fortune and TechCrunch reported. An employee who was laid off told NBC News the mass firing was an indication to the company that needed capital urgency. So this company gets over $700 million the day before, and they can't think to maybe, I don't know, wait till after Christmas to fire them, maybe to give them like a month heads up that your position will be terminated and to start looking for other places to go. I mean, there's so many other ways that they could have handled this. No wonder I thought this was Uber. This is something that scummy that Uber would do. But even worse, it seems like Better.com is channeling the ghost, or at least the legacy, because he's still alive, of Uber's former CEO Travis Kalanick, because obviously the company came way under fire from this decision. Heck, I'm making a video of it, so, you know, this was like a done screwed up thing. And you would think that with this backlash, with this new information, that maybe the Better.com CEO would make a follow-up statement and say something like, you know what, after the backlash, we realized we did this wrong. We are going to give them the next 3 weeks, and then they will be laid off. That gives them time to find new work. Something like that. But no, he actually decided to accuse hundreds of the 900 people he laid off of stealing from the workforce by only working 2 hours daily. Here's the follow-up response. Vishal Garg, the founder and CEO of the digital mortgage company Better.com, laid off more than 900 people over Zoom last week. He accused at least 250 terminated staff members of stealing from the company by working just 2 hours a day. This was what he wrote. You know, you guys know that at least 250 of the people terminated were working an average of 2 hours a day while clocking in 8+ hours a day. In the payroll system, they were stealing from you and stealing from a customer who pay the bills that pay our bills. Get educated. Wow. Really? So, here's the thing. I know remote work is kind of a challenging endeavor for some companies. There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of getting used to the new way things work. But the bottom line is, after more than a year of doing it, most companies have realized this is the future. This is the future. If you're making people come to the office, you're a dinosaur. You're a fossil. You do not need to be in the office. Most jobs are performed on Google Docs or using Dropbox. Basically, the cloud has revolutionized office work, where you don't even need to spend the obscene amounts of money to go into the office anymore. And yes, some people don't work good at home. If you're not constantly paying attention with them, then yes, those people probably are not being very efficient. But here's the advantage of being in a remote work environment. The computer will tell you everything you need to know. You give people tasks, and depending on how fast they're finishing those tasks, will tell you whether or not that employee is pulling their own. Now, if you knew that there are people who are only working 2 hours a day and they are thus stealing from the company, and by the way, I would agree that that would be stealing from the company, fire those people. And fire them as you catch on that they are not pulling their weight. What about the other 450 people that you fired? Were they having productivity problems? No? Well, why are you firing them? Again, you just got a capital infusion of over $700 million the day before. If you must fire someone, fire the people who are stealing from the company. Let everyone else work there for a few more weeks. Then if you still need to cut corners, maybe you could let them go after Christmas. But no, just before Christmas, over a Zoom call. This is unfortunately, one of the bad things about remote work, is that these things that could be done over a Zoom call probably shouldn't be done over a Zoom call. And it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. So, here's the other thing about this. Aside from the fact that it was a really bad thing to do, and aside from the fact that the response was not great, the CEO of Better.com actually seems to be getting a reputation for being a little bit of a bully and a little bit of a big D word. So here's the thing. They actually, Forbes obtained an email, and he berated the staff in the email, and he said, "You are too damn slow. You are a bunch of dumb dolphins. You are embarrassing me." This is the kind of person we're talking about when it comes to Better.com. And really, it doesn't sound like Better.com is better at anything. It looks like they are taking all of the worst traits of the other startups, the Ubers, the DoorDashes, the WeWorks, and they are just taking from those. Why can't one of these startup companies be an honest company? Why can't they reward their employees? Why can't they have a reputation of being the best place to work? Don't tell me it can't be done. I witnessed the founding of Pixar, and Pixar had a reputation of being the greatest place to work, the most honest company in the world. And this was a company run by Steve Jobs, who was not known for being kind or fair or anything. Now, of course, there were issues that came up later on. There was a huge wage fixing scandal that occurred, and of course, some of the stuff was John Lasseter that came out to light later on. Maybe not the best. But the bottom line is, you can have a reputation for being a great place to work and be successful. I don't know why these companies don't follow that model. Instead, they want to be just like Travis Kalanick, the loser who flamed out after a couple of years and is now trying to sell ghost kitchens that nobody wants. This was cruel, it was inhumane, and the CEO has shown now that he is being a bully and petty because people, God forbid, had an opinion that maybe he didn't handle this the right way. I don't know. I know they're a new company and all that jazz, but I might be having to keep an eye on Better.com. Something tells me this is going to be a fascinatingly brutal story going forward. But that said, I would like to know, what do all of you think of this decision? Would you have handled it this way? Do you think the CEO handled him the best way possible? Or do you think the CEO massively screwed up? How would you have let go of these people if they absolutely had to? Which seems doubtful. Again, they just got $750 million in fresh capital the day before they were fired. Seems like they could have afforded to keep them around for another couple of weeks. And what do you think about SoftBank making this company? Can SoftBank, for lack of a better word, bankroll any other company that does not seem like it's imploding upon itself? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.